Welcome to your show and mine, Bobby Ramos' Bottom Line. Thanks for coming to the YouTube channel. A couple of things I wanted to talk about today, but they're all on the same vein. First of all, I want to give congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for winning the Super Bowl. You know that I erroneously picked Kansas City, wanted Kansas City, but I said that if Tampa Bay won, I will explain later as to why I'd be happy that Tampa Bay won. It had nothing to do with Tom Brady, trust me. But the reason I was happy that I could find happiness in Tampa Bay winning is I love their coach, Bruce Arians. I've seen a couple of documentaries, a couple of films on him, and he's a real man's man, and he doesn't go with a lot of BS, racist garbage that's going on in this country right now. And Bruce Arians has the most diverse coaching staff in the NFL, as you can see by the picture. And it includes, all teams have 28 coaches. He has many African American coaches, but he also has two women. One of the women is the daughter of Iranian immigrants, and the other woman is a single mother. Richard Lapchick's diversity report that he does every year on the major sports gave the NFL a D plus in their diversity, a D plus. And we've had all these openings for head coaches, and very few went to African Americans. And that's sad, especially in a league that's over 70% African American. You understand something? The NFL chooses their coaches normally from three locations: defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, quarterback coach. They'll once in a while take a college coach, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. But those are the positions. Well, Bruce Arians, he has four top coordinators who were African Americans. Okay, so that's a big deal. He has the coach and the run coordinator is Harold Goodwin. His defensive coordinator is Todd Bowles, one-time ex-coach of the New York Jets and their sorry team. But Todd Bowles is a defensive coordinator. His offensive coordinator and quarterback coach is Byron Leftwich, former star quarterback in the NFL, whose career got shortened by injuries. I thought he was a fantastic player. The injuries just caught up with him. His special teams coach is Keith Armstrong. So he has four black coordinators. They just won the Super Bowl. You don't see any of those people taken from his staff. And the NFL is a copycat league. Whoever wins it one year, that's what everybody tries to replicate the next year. It's like that in a lot of sports. That team that wins it, teams try to mirror their success. If a team is running a lot of screens, next year everybody wants to run screens. If they're throwing a lot of deep balls, teams want to throw a lot of deep balls. Well, here's a team. Yeah, Brady's getting all the credit. Their defense had a lot to do with their wins. I want to see, because it hasn't happened so far, I want to see if these coaches turn up getting head coaching jobs. And Bruce Arians has said his main job, he didn't even say to win games. He said his main job is to create head football coaches. So I just love the guy, and he's a real man's man. And one of the shows that I saw about him, a lot of his old-time friends, they had him on the show with him. They're black guys. So he doesn't get caught up in all the racial BS. So we'll see what happens with Tampa Bay and the NFL. I do not think this is one thing about a Super Bowl winning team that the NFL teams will not try to duplicate and replicate. Going to another coach. As I said, they'll sometimes take college coaches. Now, Urban Meyer just got hired for the first time as an NFL coach, but he had a successful career as a college coach. I do not like this man. This man has the personality of a rock. I don't like anybody who can't find any joy anywhere in their life, in their job situation. Everything has to be dour and upset and yelling and screaming, which is why he left the college game, because it was affecting his health. I don't know why he thinks the NFL is going to be a smoother, easier ride for him on that sorry team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. But here's the kicker. He hired as his strength coach. Matter of fact, they called him the director of sports performance. This guy named Chris Doyle. Let me give you a little history on this cat. Chris Doyle was the strength coach from the University of Iowa. He was there like 20 years. Also, he was the highest paid assistant in college football. He was making $800,000 a year. Now, what happened this past June, dozens of black players from that team, former and current, went public with all the problems with this guy. And some white players chimed in and agreed with them, and that he had a lot of negative racist language when it came to speaking to these college players, and that he treated them differently than the white guys on the team. As I said, white players also saw this. Not all of them, but some of them admitted it in the report that the school put out. They had a lineman, Jack Kallenberger, and he talked about, and teammates backed him up, he has a learning disability. And this coach would berate him and make jokes about his learning disability. So this is the kind of cat we're talking about. He got let go by the University of Iowa. They paid him a $1.1 million settlement, and his family stayed on the insurance until he was able to find another job, which he just found. But he got no discipline, no nothing like that. They gave him a $1.1 million settlement to, listen, okay, it's too many problems, just go somewhere else. They're paying him. Boy, you want to talk about privilege. That's why I speak so highly about Vince Lombardi and Hank Stram. But it's mainly the old Kansas City coach, but mainly Vince Lombardi, because he didn't have time for this kind of stuff. Yeah, he won all the championships, and he was a great coach on the field. He was a molder of men, but his diversity background was huge, and you're going to be hearing about him again down the road. But there's just such a difference. And Urban Meyer had a press conference saying, oh, he's known this guy Chris Doyle for 20 years. He vetted him himself, and they're not going to have any problems. Well, you're a white male. He didn't have problems with white males. Duh. He didn't have problems with white males. He had problems with the black college students on the team. So what are you talking about? You know him from 20 years ago. You worked with him 20 years ago. You're another like-minded white male, so why would you have problems with him? That was one of the most ridiculous, and the press didn't push him on that. I would have pushed his ass back to Iowa on that kind of stuff. Anyway, yeah, I'm getting a little heated. But anyway, I don't know why Jacksonville would take a coach like that, and Urban Meyer with no personality and a dour kind of guy in a losing franchise. I don't know. It didn't work out even after he won a Super Bowl. Tom Coughlin with the Giants. He would just tick people off, but it wasn't a racial thing. He was just a dour, unhappy kind of guy most of the time. This guy, last thing I'm going to say, this guy, Chris Doyle, the strength and conditioning coach, I hope he's in shape and I hope he can fight. Because if he thinks for a second he's going to talk to these big, strong, young NFL players like that and come at them like that, he's going to get his ass kicked. He better be in shape because they're not going to take it. They're making money. They're in the NFL. He's not going to treat them like college kids who have to take it. So anyway, that's been today's version of Your Show and Mine, Bobby Ramos Bottom Line. Thanks for checking it out today. Don't forget to check out my website, BobbyRamosBottomLine.com, and keep tuning in and have another interesting person to talk about today or tomorrow for Black History Month. But today I wanted to do Bruce Arians for my Black History Month hero because he exemplifies diversity and believing flatly that people are people regardless of the color of their skin. So thanks for listening in, and hope you check it out later tomorrow. Ha ha!